Welcome to the Wine Cage. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Amanda.
And tonight we're doing something a little bit different. Normally we just review one wine. Tonight it's 2 for 1. We're doing 2 wines. There's no specific reason. We just have these 2 wines open. And so we thought, why not try doing 2 of them? So the 2 wines that we are looking at are Bortoli's Woodfired Heathcote Shiraz from 2020. And here we have, do you want to tell us the name of this one?
This is the Gemtree Cinnabar Grenache Shiraz Mataro from 2021.
Okay, so 2 slightly different kinds of red wine. But as I said, we just had these 2 open, so we thought we'd just talk about both of them. So we might start with the Woodfired Shiraz. Because we're doing 2, maybe we'll just keep this a little briefer than our usual in-depth review of the label, art and graphic design, or spend more time on one, a little less on the other, whatever you prefer. But what do you think of the Bortoli Woodfired label?
Well, I'm ready to talk about this one because Dylan and I have a slight in-joke since we spend a lot of time dealing with graphics in our day-to-day lives that we joke about branding that is like not gay. Like, if a brand tries to make something as least gay as possible, it always cracks us up. I feel like this wine label falls into the, like, we're trying really hard to not be gay.
Definitely not gay.
It is so not gay. It's black, it's red, it's gold, it's called Woodfired, it's highlighted the fired part, and there's fiery edges on the actual label. Like, this is as masculine as a wine label gets.
It's all about the fire. And I thought there was going to be something about that in the description of the wine or how it's made, but no, it turns out they just think it would go well with wood-fired pizza. So, yeah. Look, I mean, Bortoli's a really big winemaker, and this is kind of, I think this wine is aimed at just to appeal to as many people as possible. And it's worked. I've bought this maybe 5, 6, 7 times because it's just kind of a reliable, basic Shiraz. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Have you got more to say about the look of this thing?
All I can say is that it isn't particularly to my taste as a designer. I think it's ugly, but what about you?
I don't have anything to say about the label on this one. It's just plain, simple. Yeah, this looks a little bit silly. But once again, I think they're aiming for kind of the non-wine drinking market on this one.
That's true, yeah.
And it's kind of a theme with both of these wines tonight. I mean, I don't know about the Gemtree, we'll see. But anyway, let's see how the Woodfired tastes. I'm going to go for it if that's okay.
Please.
So the nose is nothing special. It just has typical Shiraz smell and a little bit of sourness as well. So not a huge fan of the nose. It's not offensive. It's not overpowering or anything like that. It's just not super interesting. So that's the nose. Taste-wise, to me, this is, as I said before, it's kind of just a reliable Shiraz, but what they've done here, I think, is sweetened it up quite a bit. Years ago, 10 years ago, a winemaker approached me about using one of my illustrations on a wine label, and it was for their cheapest wine. It was still about a $20 bottle or something like that, and it was aimed at young people and maybe people who don't drink a lot of red wine, trying to appeal to the mass tongue, I guess. And I went to the winemaker's house, and he gave me a taste test between 2 different reds. And I tasted one and the other. One of them was clearly better to me. It just tasted more sophisticated and drier and more interesting, more velvety. And the other one was just kind of plainer, sharper, sweeter. Turned out it was the same wine. It was the wine that my label was going to be used on, but the one that I didn't like as much, the sweeter one, was the one that they had added sugar to and done various other things that they thought would make it appeal to more people. I mentioned that whole rambling story because I feel like that's kind of what we're looking at here with this Bortoli Woodfired Shiraz. They're trying to make a Shiraz that will appeal to as many people as possible. And the only problem with ever trying to appeal to as many people as possible is that you make something a little bit mediocre, right? It's not going to be amazing to anyone. And that's kind of what we have here. Did you want to have a look at that one?
Oh, why not? Yeah, I sort of agree. The nose is inoffensive. It's very sweet. Here's Wolfie to visit.
Producer Wolfie, come to join us. He likes to make sure everything's going smoothly.
Yeah, this one, it's just sort of dry and sharp and a bit sweet, isn't it? There's not sort of much more you can say
That's
about
it. I think that's the perfect description for it. So that's the Woodfired Heathcote Shiraz 2020. And what do you reckon out of 10 for that one?
I'd probably give it a 6.
6, yeah. I'll agree with that. I'd probably be a bit more generous and say 6.5 maybe. I don't know if I'll remember to put that on the rating card that we bring up, but 6.5. That's what you're looking at. It's reliable. If you're going to take a bottle of wine to someone's house, someone who maybe doesn't drink wine all the time, it's a safe bet. Would you mind grabbing the Gemtree? I can't now that I've got producer Wolfie weighing me down.
He is so helpful.
So this is the Gemtree GSM 2021. Now, label-wise on this, all I can say is that I got actually confused by the writing falling off. I couldn't immediately tell that was intentional. It obviously is, but yeah, this one's got a bit of like MoMA, minimalistic, artistic, modern art vibe going forward. So, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, this label cracks me
we don't
up.
have a lid on this.
Yeah, this label makes me laugh a little bit because it's very, I don't know how to put it. It's very of its era, which is to say, graphic design-wise, this makes me think of the early 2000s, maybe mid-2000s. There was a lot of kind of messing around with placement and minimalism of sans serif fonts. It looks a little bit design school to me. None of this is to say that I think that the designer themselves did a bad job, but it's not really to my taste.
You're saying they did a bad job and they're a bad person and they should feel bad, right?
That is exactly what I'm not saying. But it doesn't drive me crazy. It's kind of random looking, which I guess is maybe what they were going for. But
all right, why don't you go first on the nose and taste for this one? While Amanda's doing that, I'll just say we have had Gemtree before. We've bought several times their Dragon's Blood. I actually can't remember what varietal that was. I think it might have been a Shiraz. I'm guessing there. My memory's not great. But that one was solid, pretty reliable, maybe similar to actually the Woodfired Shiraz. But it was a good enough one that we bought it 3 or 4 times. So that's why we knew of this wine. And by the way, the Woodfire Shiraz, that one we picked up for about $18. That was its retail price. We might have got a member discount. And this Gemtree was $25. So this one, a little bit higher. It's also apparently won an award at a wine show. So those couple of things drew us in. But what's the actual verdict on this one?
Well, the nose is sort of very, again, it's sort of sweet. It's a bit sweet. It's very dry. It's a little dusty. It doesn't have a whole lot of character though. So I'll give it a quick taste. Taste-wise, I don't know how else to put this flavour, but to say that it tastes kind of musky. It's quite dry. It's also quite sweet. In fact, it doesn't taste massively different to me to the last wine, except that it's maybe a little bit less palatable, for lack of a better term. It's not bad, but it's not exciting to me. It has the taste that there's a lot of wines that we've sort of had at pubs have kind of had, like a little bit just musky. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, for me, the nose on this one's actually quite good. I like the smell. It's dry. It's really understated. It's pleasant. It's I could inhale this and really enjoy that. But when I go to the tasting, as I sip it, it's spicy up front, a bit sharp, but my issue with it is that it evolves pretty much to just a sharp, sour sort of taste. It does not evolve into something that wows you and makes you go, oh, okay, this is interesting, and then has like possibly a velvety finish. It doesn't have any of that. It's sharp, spicy, followed by a bit sour. Is that being too harsh, do you think, for this one?
Let me give it another try.
No, it really evolves into something harsh on the tongue that I'm not a fan of. So for me, this one's a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, it's a little bitey with the finish, isn't it?
Yeah, bitey, exactly. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed in this one. I'm not sure how. I mean, different wines for different people, but I have to say I'm not quite sure how it won a gold at a wine show. Like, are you surprised by that? I feel like I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. I think my main issue with it is that we drink quite a lot of GSMs and we usually really like them. So we were excited to try this one. It sort of lacks what we have normally liked about GSMs.
Yeah, so don't take our word for it. Maybe, different people have different tastes. So I don't want to condemn this outright. I think, you might want to try it. If you like a brighter, sharper GSM, this one might appeal to you more. But for us, this one was a bit of a disappointment. And I think I'm going to give this a 5.5. So I just want to be clear. That's not saying it's terrible. If it was terrible, we'd be giving it a 3 or a 4 or something. We try not to even review wines that are that bad to us. So this is totally drinkable. We're going to drink it with dinner tonight, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it because it's red wine. But I would not repurchase, and I feel slightly ripped off at that $25 price point. Not that that's expensive, but I know I can get some great wines between $15 and $25, some really nice wines. So a slight disappointment on the price and the sharpness, lack of complexity. That's how I feel about it. What do you think?
I agree with all of that. We've gotten some banger wines around the $15 mark, and to get one that tastes more like it should be priced around the $15, even $12 mark is sort of
Yeah.
Cost of living and all of that, guys.
Yeah. So sorry, Gemtree. We know we've enjoyed Gemtree wines before. This one's just not for us, but I'm sure we're still going to enjoy it tonight. So that's your 2 for 1. I'm probably going to have to edit this one a bit more than I usually do, but that's okay. That was the Woodfired Heathcote Shiraz 2020. I don't know why I can't remember that. And the Gemtree Cinnabar GSM 2021. This has been another Wine Cage. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers, Wolfie.